I quit the job, came to India, and I had little savings of my job, and I had a family to take care, and the future was a very big question mark. And then I took the plunge in stock market. And despite being warned by my friends and relatives not to enter into stock market, but now I am here in front of them, and today I own the most luxurious apartment in Tamil Nadu. Hi, this is PR Sundar, and I hope you must have seen me, my YouTube channel PR Sundar 64. So I have about million followers, and I do give a lot of trade ideas and market outlook. I'm here in Joe Stocks to share my trading journey for the last 15 years. I started my trading journey in 2007. Now it is 2022. And the ride was not very smooth. It's just like Indian roads, a lot of ups and downs. And I will be happy to share my story. And I was born and brought up in Chennai, which is North Chennai, which is mostly a working class people. And I was born in a very poor family. And people say born with silver spoon. So I was not even born with a plastic spoon. And my father was just an ordinary unskilled worker. And at some point of time, my father went to Gulf countries to work as an unskilled worker only. And one time I went to drop my father at the airport. And that time one rich man came by a car. It was a Toyota Corolla car. And he got out. There was some sigh in my father's face. And I could feel. And he thought, I'm working so much, but still we are not able to afford for a car. But now, to the same airport, I drive by Benz S-Class. And to the same Gulf country, recently I went by business class. And the moment I landed in Dubai, there were so many people, many company CEOs, many entrepreneurs, people were waiting to receive me, waiting to talk to me. So that is the crux of my story. When I was a student, the people say, Ramanujam was a great mathematician from Tamil Nadu. And I also come from the same state. And Ramanujam used to get full score in mathematics when he was a student. But in other subjects, he used to get almost 0. And I was also like that only. So I just used to do very well in mathematics. But the rest of the subjects, I was not so good. And believe me, the first word, English word I spoke when I was at the age of 22, only after going to a job. And I was very weak in English. So remember, and language is not intelligence. English is a language, it's not an intelligence. So when you take the plunge, you will learn things. So don't feel inferior if you are not really good at English. So then, I became a teacher, and in Tamil Nadu, so we don't study Hindi. And being a teacher, and let me tell you, Tamil Nadu and Kerala are the two states producing the largest number of teachers in the world. And naturally, supply is more, the demand may not be very good. So I wanted to venture into North India. So venturing into North India itself was a risk for me at some point of time because I was not knowing Hindi. So I went to Gujarat and I was working as a teacher. And there I learned something about the stock market. And though my capital was not really very good, but I started learning. And the people those days, they used to say 95% of the money comes to stock market from Gujarat. The remaining 5% comes from the Gujaratis settled in other states. So, Gujaratis are very famous for stock market. And so I started learning something, but though I was not having a risk capital. And, there is a saying in Tamil, Thirai kadalodiyam diraviyam thedu, which means, if you want to create wealth, so you don't mind going abroad. So as a teacher, so I thought, I have to go abroad to make more money. And then I went to Singapore. I was working with the Ministry of Education in Singapore. Singapore is one of the countries paying very good salary for teachers. So that's why I've chosen to go to Singapore. And while I was in Singapore, I could not pursue my passion in stock market. Why? Those days, There was no email, there's no internet, there's no WhatsApp, there's no Twitter, and communication is so expensive. Just make a phone call, say hello is 100 rupees. But that was there in my mind. And after some time, for one or the other reason, so I decided to leave the job. I came back to India, and I took stock market as my second career. And people always ask me, sir, why did you choose stock market as a second career? I used to say for fun, in India, people don't have any other job, they actually come to stock market. And now, that day I took the decision to plunge into the stock market. And now, and I would say very proudly, I'm one of the top option sellers in India. And I do own properties in 3 countries. And recently I bought an apartment in Dubai, which is few building away from Burj Khalifa, and where I'm staying in Tamil Nadu, that is the most expensive apartment in Tamil Nadu, and my neighbors are, top movie actors and actresses from South India. And not only that, so I drive Benz S-Class. But again, all these things are material things, and I'm proud to tell you that I'm the only trader in India who donated more than 1 crore rupees to Chief Minister and Prime Minister during coronavirus time. And that gives more inner satisfaction. So, most of the people come to stock market just because, they don't know anything else to do. And let me be very honest with you. So, I also came to stock market like that only. But at the same time, you remember, a small mistake in stock market can wipe out everything. So, when I entered into the stock markets, so normal thing, just like other people, without any knowledge, I started trading. I started trading in futures. And when the markets moved violently during 2008 Lehman Brothers collapse, there was a huge loss, and almost 50% of my capital was wiped out. And I used to just joke with my friends, and this crash, 2008 crash, is worse than the divorce, because you have lost half of your capital and still had to live with your wife. Well, that's for joke. And then, I started. Many people quit when there is a loss, but only some people think how they have made the loss, why they have made the loss, and how they can come out. And then I studied the market. Then I found that, trading in futures, you have no futures. Trading in options, you have plenty of options. Then I switched to options trading. That was one big turnaround in my life. And second thing, one of my relatives was a broker, and he wanted me to study, and he wanted me to take some examination, and he wanted me to get some certificates so that he can run his business with that certificate. So to help my friend, I studied a book and I took the examination. And those days it is called NCFM, now it is called NISM Series 8. In that book, at one place, it has been mentioned that if you want to be an option seller, you do not have to pay even a single rupee to the broker or to the exchange. All you can keep your money in fixed deposit and can give that fixed deposit as a collateral to the exchange, and you can do the trading. That was another big turnaround. I've already lost half of my money, and my wife was worried, and she was persuading to give up. And I always say, I can give up anything in my life, but I cannot give up the hope. So what happened? This FD thing, I could convince my wife that don't worry, whatever is lost, but the remaining money will actually go into fixed deposit only. We will get the interest. That interest will be sufficient for you to run the family, and I can take trading as a next level. So that was another thing. But let me tell you, believe me, it took 4 years for me to find one broker who can accept fixed deposit as a collateral. And because those days, even the brokers were not aware of many other things. And always I tell you one thing, people, they just go to college, they just want to get degree, just to get the job, just to know. And people don't study with passion. The examination I took, the book I studied, is being studied by most of the people in the stock market, But surprisingly, nobody seems to know this fixed deposit kind of things. And I studied with a passion. So, what makes the difference in your life is your passion. And then, the story continued and there was big turnaround in my life. So, I started trading well. And until 2013, when this US government announced what they call it as taper tantrum. You go to Google and search taper tantrum, you will know what is it. And the US government decided to increase the rate of interest. And because of that, US dollar appreciated and all other currencies depreciated, stock markets crashed all over the world. Exactly like what is happening now. Now also, that's what is happening everywhere. US dollar is appreciating. And even the developed country currencies like UK, France, Germany, their currencies all depreciating. UK sterling pound has depreciated nearly 20% in last 1 year and worse than Indian rupee. So that time, there was a sudden fall in the markets. And, being an option seller, a sudden fall in the market, sudden big movement, what they call it as a black swan event. And, you tend to lose a lot. And option sellers, they make money 90% of the time. But 90% of the time, what money they make, they tend to lose more than that in the remaining 10% when there is a black swan event. So, when the market falls suddenly, the volatility increases, the option premium increases. So, I met with a second disaster in my life. That was in 2013. And then I could understand more about these things. Now, I would say you people are very lucky. There's a YouTube, there are a lot of social media platforms where you can actually cut down your learning curve. But those days, there was no YouTube, there was no social media. So, the things were not that easy those days. So, then by God's grace, so I've developed my skills and I continued my journey. And the journey has been very, very satisfactory. But of course, even when you are going for a heart checkup, your ECG, if it goes flat, you are dead. So it has to go up and down. So in the life, I've seen lots of ups and downs. And, so they are like, I would say, every crisis is an opportunity. So whenever there is a crisis, though I have lost some money, but I learned something out of it. And, I make sure that I did not make the same mistake again. And I continued my journey. And people still tell me, Mr. Sundar, you are taking a huge risk. And to them, I used to tell, there was a chief minister in Tamil Nadu called M.G. Ramachandran. He was a great actor. So during his period, so he produced one movie. The name of the movie was Nadodi Mannan, which means in English, Vagabond King. And he put a lot of his money. And he used to joke with his friends, I'm making a movie called Vagabond King. If the movie is successful, I'll be the king. If the movie is a failure, I'll be a vagabond. And fortunately, the movie was very successful. And then he became such a great personality in Tamil Nadu. And he became a chief minister. Until he died, he was the chief minister of Tamil Nadu. So, most important thing in your life is to dream. And dream is not what you get when you sleep. Dream is what that lets you not to sleep. So, my whole dream of my childhood is to become a rich man. And after becoming a rich man, and money is nothing. And I wanted to be a role model for the traders in India. Don't expect traveling along the roadmap is going to be easy. There'll be lots of ups and downs. And you can give up anything in your life, but don't give up the hope. And the moment you give your hope, you are a hopeless person. And then I'm sure everybody can achieve. If Mr. P.R. Sundar can achieve, why not everyone? I'm sure you can achieve something great in your life.
अगर आप इस टॉक के एंड तक पहुंच चुके हैं तो मैं आपको जोश टॉक्स का एक दूसरा रूप भी दिखाना चाहता हूँ, जिससे मैं काफ़ी देर से जुड़ा हुआ हूँ और मुझे बहुत बहुत ज़्यादा पसंद है कि वो क्या कर रहे हैं। जोश टॉक्स ने एक नया ऐप लॉन्च किया है जिसका नाम है जोश स्किल्स। अब वो नया नहीं रहा, काफ़ी टाइम से है, लाखों लोग उसको अब यूज़ करते हैं। और जोश स्किल्स पे आप अपनी ज़िंदगी के लिए कोर्सेज ढूंढ सकते हैं। वो कोर्स नहीं जो आपको फिजिक्स, केमिस्ट्री, कॉमर्स, बिजनेस स्टडीज पढ़ाएंगे, वो कोर्सेज जो आपकी जिंदगी में आपको कैसे जीना चाहिए वो सिखाएंगे। मैंने खुद जो स्किल्स पे बहुत सारे कोर्सेज बनाए हैं, पब्लिक स्पीकिंग पे, इमोशनल क्राइसिस कैसे हैंडल किया जाए, अपनी पर्सनालिटी कैसे डेवलप की जाए। हर एक कोर्स में डेली क्विजेज हैं, एक्सरसाइजेज हैं, एक बहुत ही खूबसूरत कम्युनिटी है जो आपको सपोर्ट करेगी, आपको इनकरेज करेगी। आज ही डाउनलोड करें जोश स्किल्स का ऐप और उनके कोर्सेज एक्सप्लोर करके अपनी जिंदगी को आगे बढ़ाएं।
Josh Talks is now a Spotify exclusive podcast. The audio version of our talks will be available only on Spotify. If you like this video and you like to listen to more inspiring stories like this, please follow the Josh Talks podcast only on Spotify.
Tell us what you think about this video and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.